Okay, so let's learn a little bit more about the Photoshop interface. I will show an important feature about rearranging panels, or what's called the workspace, in order to customize your Photoshop layout. I will also show a little bit more advanced ways to work with this, although that is not entirely necessary for you to learn, although it is quite useful. So the first thing is, let's have a look at this interface. On the left side here, we have our tools, okay? And you can click around to see the different tools. Um, you might have noticed that when I click on a tool, the options up here change. So this bar here at the top is where we are seeing the selected tools options. So right now I'm selected with the move tool and I have options for the move tool. If I were to switch to another tool like the paintbrush, you'll see I now have options set up over here for the paintbrush. We'll get into this more as we work with each specific tool. So over here on the right hand side, we have what's called panels, and I'm going to show you how to customize these panels in a moment. Over here with the new document open, we have the canvas. The white area over here is the background of the canvas, and the darker area around it is the exterior, which is not included in the document. And the open document displays its file name over here in the top left corner. And when you have multiple documents open, they will stack side by side over here. So that is the basics of the interface. And what I want you to do is start by resetting the workspace. So let's go into the window menu. Anything to do with the workspace or panels can be found in the window menu. And here let's have a look at what's enabled. So on my computer right now, the character panel is enabled, the info panel, the layers panel, paragraph panel, and properties. So in this section over here, any panel that has a check mark can probably be seen over here on the right hand side. So you can see I have the info panel, character, paragraph, properties, and the layers panel. So this is completely customizable. You can enable and disable any panel by clicking on one of these in the window menu. So if I click on the character panel that is enabled, I will disable it. You see it disappeared over here, and the other panels have adjusted its position to uh, make use of the newly available space. So let's go back here and turn that back on. There you have it. What I'm going to start you off doing is click on the window menu and go into this area here where you see Workspace. Here you can actually choose from a preset layout. Um, and what I want you to do is you can start with the essentials and then click on this one here that says Reset Essentials. So what this does is it completely replaces whatever panels you had open and sets it back to the default. Now I particularly don't like this layout that it sets up, and that's why you saw mine different before. So I want to show you how it's completely customizable. But it's useful to know where this feature to reset the workspace, because sometimes you end up playing with your layout so much that things get lost or messy, and it's just much easier just to come here and click reset the workspace, and you'll be back to a fresh start. So it says reset essentials because that's the current workspace and it will reset it. Once you have a layout you like, you can get into more advanced features like saving the workspace, but I'm not going to cover that in this video. So for now, we're on the Essentials default workspace, and I'm going to show you how you could rearrange panels and combine them and close them. So this Learn panel over here, for me, isn't very useful. It is super useful when you're starting out and learning Photoshop, but it's not something that I keep open on a regular basis. So what I'm going to do is right click on it. Okay, so I'm clicking on the name of the panel right here and clicking close. So that closed the panel and it's gone. And just to show you how to rearrange panels, I'm going to take this libraries panel, so click and drag on the name of the panel to rearrange it. So I'm going to click and drag. So you see it gets taken out from the workspace, and you can now reposition it. So you have to be careful and be very precise in what you're trying to do, because as you move the mouse, it's going to highlight where you will drop it. So right now, if I were to drop it here, it would be added to this panel group, and it would be placed alongside it, as you saw right here. The interface jumped because we took away the libraries panel on the right, and now it's been combined with the other panels right here. So I could click and drag it again and move it into another panel right here. So it's now added its name into the list of tabs, and you can switch back and forth between them in this area. Another way you can drop these panels is in between the panels. So if I click and drag it out, and now if I move my mouse just enough in between the panels, so if you go too far, you'll probably pull it out. But if I were to put it just in between the panels, you'll see that little blue line appear, and then you can place it right over there. So now it pushed its way into the interface, it pushed the other panels down and up, and it has now claimed its real estate in this position over here. And you might have noticed, if you pull out the panel, but do not put it inside another panel group or in between, you can actually pull it out. And now it exists as this floating window where you can move it around anywhere you want in your screen. Sometimes this is useful, but I prefer to have my layout fixed in a way where the canvas is on the left and my panels are here on the right. And the last thing you might have just noticed is there's a spot over here to create a new column. So if I were dropping it over here, it now has claimed this entire new column for itself, and it has lots of space. And the last place you can drop these panels is in this quick action area over here. So here, it's a little bit different. So let me show you by dropping it in. There we go. So now the libraries panel has kind of been minimized, and it's been re-represented by its icon. So now it's a quick access area. So if you click on the icon, it pops out. You can do what you need to do. And then when you click around to do something else, will it disappear? No, it doesn't disappear. So if you want to hide it again, you just click on these little arrows right here, and it'll go back into its home in the quick action area. So this is a place where you might have some extra panels that you use, but maybe not so often. So you take it out of the interface and you leave it there. But this libraries panel for me, I'm just going to drag it out again, isn't very useful. I am going to click on this X in the floating window to get rid of it, or you can again right click on it and click close. And the way I would recommend you set up your interface for this course is take this layers panel over here, okay? Actually, I'm going to take the entire group. So instead of clicking on one of these tabs, I'm going to click on the panel area just beside it. So this area over here will allow me to drag out the entire panel with all the tabs, and I'm going to squeeze it in into a new column on the right-hand side, and that's great for me right over there. And I'm going to take the properties panel and leave it open. And I also like to have both the color and the swatches panel available to me. So I'm going to click on swatches and drag it down over here. There we go. And this is a good starting point for us to leave it, where you can start getting more efficient in my course with the relevant panels accessible to you. So that's all I want to cover in this video. It gets into some more advanced things about controlling your layout, which you don't need to worry about too much. But if you want to customize your layout and get into more advanced possibilities for working efficiently, then please benefit from this video. Check it out, practice doing it, and then you'll be able to set up your interface the way you like it.